Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. In this particular video, I will let you know about the origin of intellectual property, how the idea of IP evolves in the history and how it led to the establishment of World Intellectual Property Organization or WIPO. So let's start with historical journey of IP. It is believed that a basic form of IP was being practiced around 500 BC before the Common Era in Sybaris, which is a state of Greece. Now the natives of Sybaris were granted a year protection for using their intellect to create any new improvement in luxury. A practical approach for IP governance started in medieval Europe. In 1623, Britain passed an intellectual property legislation which gave certain privilege to guilds, which was the association of artisans and merchants. Now it was provided to create more innovations and bringing them to market for trade purposes. However, the public were not happy with this, and it was replaced by the Statute of Monopolies, which gave the rights to the original creator or inventor for 14 years. Another legislation, Statute of Anne, was passed by the British Parliament in 1710. This legislation was passed to make copyrights more stronger by providing rights to the authors for recreation and distribution of their work. The work could also be renewed for another 14 years. Now, initially inventions were kept secret so that it is well protected in one country. However, there was no protection of the work in other countries. Therefore, the first major step taken to protect the intellectual works in other countries was the Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property. It was signed in Paris on 20th March 1883 and it came into effect from 7th July 1884. Now, there is a particular reason for this convention. As I told earlier that a country kept their inventions secret for its protection. However, as a matter of national prestige, the inventions were exhibited in different exhibitions. At the Paris exhibition in 1867, Germany received the first genuine recognition as an industrial nation. However, in 1873, foreign exhibitors such as Americans refused to attend the international exhibitions of inventions in Vienna, Austria, because they were afraid that their ideas would be stolen and exploited commercially in other countries. Therefore, a need for international protection of IP arose and Paris Convention was a result of that. Therefore, the main objective of the Paris Convention was intellectual protection of creation in different countries, provided that the other country is also a member of the convention. The subject matter of the convention was the protection of industrial property such as patents, trademarks and industrial designs. Now after this convention, a bureau was formed to handle the administrative task. Now till now there are 180 members of the Paris Conventions, including India. India joined the convention on November 1998. Now, after the Paris Convention, industrial property such as patents, trademarks and designs were protected at international level. However, there was no legislation for copyright at the international level. Now because of that, for example, a work published in United Kingdom by a British national could be copied and sold by anyone in France. Therefore, the Berne Convention was signed in Bern, Switzerland on 9th September 1886 for the protection of literary and artistic works. The convention came into effect from 5th December 1887. Now, the main reason for the Bern Convention was the campaign by French writer Victor Hugo and his Association for the Copyright Protection. The objective of the Bern Convention is to give creators the right and control and receive payment for their creative works on an international level. Now, the subject matter of the convention, Bern Convention, was the protection of literary and artistic works, that is copyrights. Now, after the convention, an international bureau was set up to handle the administrative task. As of now, there are 81 members of Bern Convention, including India. India joined the convention on 20th April 1928. Now, after the Paris Convention, it was felt that a special arrangement is needed for the registration of trademark in multiple countries around the world. Therefore, the Madrid system was developed. The Madrid system comprises of two independent treaties. First, the Madrid Agreement for the International Registration of Marks, which was concluded in 1891 and entered into force in 1892. And second, the protocol relating to the Madrid Agreement, which came into operation on 1st April 1996. Now, both treaties were adopted at diplomatic conferences held in Madrid, Spain. Now, this Madrid system is the first international IP filing service. The objective of the system is to establish a primary international system for registration of trademarks in other countries. The subject matter of the Madrid system is the protection of trademarks, and the advantage of the Madrid system is that a trademark owner can obtain the trademark protection in any member state by filing on application. Now, till now there are 114 members of the system, including India. India joined the Madrid Protocol on 8th April 2013. Now, the international bureaus which were created after the Paris and Bern Conventions were under the high supervision of the government of the Swiss Confederation. In 1893, the Swiss government combined them with the same director and same staff as United International Bureaus for the Protection of Intellectual Property, or in short, WIPO. So, the headquarters of WIPO was in Bern, Switzerland. In 1960, the headquarters was shifted to Geneva in order to bring closer to United Nations and other international organizations. The first Director General of WIPO was Henry Morel, and the last Director General was George H.C. Bodenhausen. In order to modernize and for better administration of the unions with respect to the protection of intellectual property, WIPO Convention was signed at Stockholm, Sweden on 14th July 1967 to establish an umbrella organization called World Intellectual Property Organization, or WIPO. Thus, WIPO was transformed to become WIPO. Now, the WIPO started its operation from 26 April 1970. That's why 26 April is celebrated as World Intellectual Property Day. The headquarters of WIPO is in Geneva, Switzerland, and the first Director General was George Bodenhausen, and the current Director General is Darren Tang. The total number of member states of WIPO is 193, including India. In 1974, WIPO joins the United Nations family, becoming a specialized agency. India joined WIPO on 31st January 1975. Now, WIPO was created to promote and protect intellectual property across the world by cooperating with countries as well as international organizations. Now, the main functions of WIPO are promotes protection of intellectual property and brings out cooperation among the union. It sets norms and standards for the protection and enforcement of intellectual property rights. It executes technical assistance to states in the field of intellectual property and registration activities for intellectual property protection to member countries. Now, the formation of PCT. Basically, under the traditional patent system, the inventor has to file applications in each and every country where he wishes to possess a patent. Now, the Paris Convention gives the advantage to the inventor to file patent applications among Paris Convention countries within a period of 12 months after filing a patent in his or her own country. However, it means that if the inventor wishes to file patent application in foreign countries, he or she has to make all the necessary arrangements of language translation, filing patent applications in all countries, bear fees of patent offices and attorneys within that period of 12 months. Therefore, to overcome the problem of duplication, WIPO came out with a new treaty called Patent Cooperation Treaty. Now, it was signed on 19 June 1970 during Washington Diplomatic Conference held in Washington. Now, the treaty entered into force on 24 January 1978. Now, the objective of PCT is to file a single international patent application. The Patent Cooperation Treaty brings out several benefits for the users of patent system. For example, it allows one single application filing with one single language. It provides single time examination of the patent with international publication. The total number of members of PCT is 157, including India. India joined PCT on 7th December 1998. Okay, thank you very much and thank you for watching.